Hello everyone, this is Yeshua Said My Name. I wanted to do a quick video update on an article that came out about a week ago, but is still very relevant concerning the ecumenical movement and Pope Francis. I'll put a link down in the description section for you so you can take a look at it. And it's dealing with this human fraternity and this one world religion that Pope Francis is pushing for. And in this article that I'm going to present to you, there is a rabbi that is speaking and actually coming out and accusing Pope Francis of not trying to unite the world under the one true God. So the article is from Breaking Israel News, and I will put a link down again in the description section for you. So it's from Breaking Israel News. States here, Pope advances one world religion agenda, presents Buddhist leader with manifesto. Okay, and then there is a scripture from Daniel that is read here in this article. Quote, thus he said, the fourth beast shall be a fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. Now this is fulfilled in Revelation 17 when we are dealing with Vatican City State, okay? So when it's talking about the fourth kingdom upon the earth, the final kingdom on the earth being the Roman kingdom, this is being fulfilled, and is that the Vatican system is identified in Revelation chapter 17 very well. As a matter of fact, it states in Revelation 17 that the Pope or the Vatican system rides the beast world system. So if you want to know who is really pulling the strings in this new world order system, look no farther than what the book of Daniel says about the final kingdom on the earth being the Roman Empire, and Revelation 17 and 18. Explicitly shows that the Vatican papal system rules and rides this beast or this new world order system. All right, the beast is this government world system. Now, there's a rabbi that speaks in this article about Pope Francis and exposes him for who he is. So even though this rabbi speaking is not a Messianic Jew, he is actually still calling out Pope Francis for what he is, a false prophet. So again, this is from Breaking Israel News. I'll put a link down for you. Pope advances one world religion agenda, presents Buddhist leader with manifesto. All right. It goes on to say here, Pope Francis meets with Thailand's Buddhist patriarch in a golden temple. And apparently in this temple, there's a huge statue of a Buddha. Now, remember a couple of videos ago in a live chat, I showed you some Buddhist temples that I took pictures of. That actually the Lord brought me across that was on television not long ago. These Buddhist temples looked like UFO craft. I'll see if I can find them on my phone for you again, but these Buddhist temples actually looked like UFO craft. So these Buddhists that are building these temples to these sky people, they call them, the sky gods, these ascended masters, they are building their temples to look like the craft that they say these interdimensional beings are coming from. All right? So when Pope Francis is aligning himself with these people, with these teachings, with these doctrines of devils, all right, even rabbis that are not Messianic Jews, that do not believe that Christ is the Messiah, are seeing him for what he is. So the Lord is definitely using other sources, even non-Christian sources, to expose the Vatican papal system for the fraud that she is. Okay? She's rich beyond compare. There's so much corruption going on in the Vatican with pedophilia, with worshiping other gods and having pagan religions and occult practices. I could just make hours worth of conversation simply about those things alone. But let's get into this article here. Actually, before I do, let me show you a picture of Pope Francis meeting with Thailand's Buddhist patriarch. Hopefully you can see this. And of course, it's quoting from the book of Daniel here, showing how, the final kingdom on earth would be the Roman system. Okay. It goes on to say here, Pope Francis topped off his 3-day visit to Thailand with a meeting with Thailand's Supreme Buddhist Patriarch at Bangkok's temple. The meeting took place in front of a 150-year-old gold statue of Buddha. The Pope followed Buddhist custom by removing his shoes. During the meeting, the Pope gave the Buddhist patriarch the Declaration on Human Brotherhood. The declaration is a joint statement signed by Pope Francis of the Catholic Church and Sheikh Ahmed Al-Tayeb, Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, last February in Abu Dhabi. Okay, so this is bringing together Buddhism, Islam, and of course we had the Amazon Synod with the Mother Earth worshippers. The Laudato Si that the Vatican put out is all about worshiping Mother Earth. So as you can see, prophecy is being fulfilled, and he is trying to bring about all these different faiths and all these different religions into one. The Pope met with the Imam last month to reinforce the declaration. The agreement between the two religious leaders was criticized for its stance on the diversity of religions. Okay, and then I want to quote what this rabbi says here about the Pope that I found extremely interesting. Let's see if I can find this here. Okay, now this is coming from a rabbi. Quote, the Pope is trying to make a global peace, or at least show his followers that he is trying to make world peace. But Islam does not allow a peace with infidels, and they can make a tactical retreat or make gestures that look like peace. But people who accept these pacts are just fooling themselves. The rabbi goes on to say, the Pope wants to unify all religions and all governments under one world order, Rabbi Assur said. This is Rabbi Assur, spelled A-S-S-U-R. Okay, Rabbi Assur. So he is stating here, the Pope wants to unify all religions, all governments under one world order. Now, all the way back to Pope John Paul, the popes were speaking about a one world government and a one world religion. Okay, so this is nothing new. But the fact that Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope is very, very impactful in these last days prophetically. Okay, because the Jesuit oath is all about destroying the Reformation, destroying the gospel of Christ. The Jesuit oath is actually the Jesuits are the military arm of the Vatican, and they are all about destroying the Reformation, about destroying the true gospel of Christ and uniting the world under a one world government, a one world monetary system, and a one world religious system. Okay? Now this is coming from Rabbi Assur, who is not a Messianic Jew, okay, in this article from Breaking Israel News. Quote, the Pope wants to unify all religions and all governments under one world order, Rabbi Assur said. What is the big surprise, he asks? He is not hiding anything. Just listen to what he says and who he is, and his plans are right there for all to see, end quote. And this is from a rabbi, and this comes out of Breaking Israel News. Of course, I'll put the link down for you in the description section so you can look this up yourself and read it. But I wanted to update you on the ecumenical movement briefly and tell you that, I mean, there are things that come out concerning Pope Francis daily and the Vatican papal system concerning this one world religion, the one world government, the new world order. Believe me when I tell you that Revelation 17 states that the Vatican system rides the beast, rides the world system. She is in cahoots. She is in bed, this Vatican system, to try and bring about a one world religion, a one world government, and a one world economy. Okay. Now, this is just a brief update on the ecumenical movement and on one of Pope Francis's latest meetings. I'll be updating you more on conferences that will be taking place in 2020, actually in May of 2020, with the Vatican papal system, on the document of human fraternity. As a matter of fact, like I said, this article said, he met with the Imam a few weeks ago to reinforce this document. Now he's meeting with these Buddhist people. A couple of live chats ago, I showed you pictures, and here, let me bring that up for you real quick. I showed you pictures on a previous video of these temples that these Buddhist monks or these Buddhists were building to their sky gods, okay? And they look exactly like these UFOs or chariots of fire, okay, that they say that that these beings are coming from. So I believe that these powers and principalities of the air, which I've discussed with you before, are these what these pagan cultures call sky beings, are nothing other than angelic interdimensional beings that are demanding temples to be built to them and worship to be given to them. Okay? So let me see if I can bring this up for you, because I took these pictures a while ago. This was like a week and a half ago. Let me see if I can bring this up for you. But if you backtrack a couple videos ago, I have pictures that I put up during a live stream, actually a live chat. Here we go. On these temples that the Buddhists built that look like actual UFOs, and they say that, that they built these temples to worship and honor their sky gods. All right, so here's what it looks like. I hope it comes through for you. Sometimes there's a glare, but look at this temple and look at all the seats for where these Buddhist worshipers can worship at. Now, does this not look like a UFO craft? Yet this is what their temple looks like. These are the people that Pope Francis is trying to make pacts with. Okay, he's trying to create a global religion, exalt himself above all that is called God by creating a global religious system, a global economy. It's interesting that their temples are built like what they call their sky gods. Okay, that these Buddhist temples are built like. But like I said, getting back to this breaking Israel news, what this rabbi Assur stated, he said the Pope wants to unify all religions and all governments under one world order. Now, it used to be 20 or 30 years ago that the New World Order was not spoken of. I mean, you only heard that spoken of in secret societies behind closed doors as hush hush, But now it's becoming more and more open. Presidents Bush Sr. and Jr. openly spoke about the New World Order and how they would succeed. Ronald Reagan gave his speech to the UN about this UFO alien threat and how it would unite all the governments and all the people of the world because of an alien presence. If we were to know about it, it would unite the world into one. Believe me when I say that this Jesuit Vatican papal system is indeed working with the governments of the world to bring about this New World Order plan. Okay, and all of this is backed, it goes even deeper, all right, with the spiritual battle that is taking place in the heavenly realms between the powers and principalities of the air. Okay, and I've done videos on that before too. Remember, it says our real enemy is not Satan, that our real enemy is not flesh and blood. Our real enemy is the devil. It's the powers and principalities of the air. That our battle is against the powers and principalities, the spiritual forces of wickedness in heavenly realms. Okay, so these pawns, like the Vatican, the Jesuits, the Freemasons, the globalists, they are all pawns in the devil's hands. They're his tools carrying out his handiwork to dissolve national sovereignties, to dissolve each country's economy, okay, to bring about a global religion and a global economy and a global government. So it's no shock here that Rabbi Assur says Pope Francis wants to unify all religions and all governments under a one world order. Well, the presidents are no longer silent on this, okay? This used to be a hush-hush thing that you would only hear behind closed doors. But it is becoming more and more open. As a matter of fact, these, the Bohemian Grove gatherings, the Bilderberg conferences, everybody, all the world leaders that go to the Vatican papal system, they're actually showing submission. These world leaders that are visiting Pope Francis and bowing at his feet and kissing his ring, they're actually showing the fulfillment of Revelation 17 and how they are showing submission to the papal system by going to Pope Francis, all these world leaders. And what are we told in Revelation 17? That she, Mystery Babylon, rides the beast, that she rules the kings of the earth, Revelation 17. So, but in Revelation 18, though, God deals with the Vatican system, all right? The Vatican system is judged and dealt with in Revelation 18. If you have not read that, she will one day be taken down. And the Lord tells you to come out of her, my people, so you will not be partakers of her sins and of her plagues. So Rabbi Assur says the Pope wants to unify all religions and all governments under one world order. What is the big surprise, he says? The Pope is not hiding anything. Just listen to what he says, who he is, and his plans are right there for all to see. This is from Breaking Israel News, and this came out about a week ago. And as I get updates about the ecumenical movement, about this Vatican papal system, I will continue to bring them to you and put links down in the description section. Thank you to all of you who participated in yesterday's live chat. It was wonderful to chat with you live and to hear testimonies being given. I love seeing prayer requests being shared. When you write my P.O. box, I get your letters and I try and respond to those letters in person. It may take me a couple of days, but I do get back to emails and I do try and write you back in person when you write me. So thank you very much for that. I'm also asking for your prayers because it is a passion that I feel God calling me to do conferences, to travel on location and speaking engagements. I would like to report from different locations and give you reports on location from prophetic areas. I'd love to go to the airport that's completely Masonic and report to you from there. I'd love to go to the Georgia Guidestones. I'd love to go to the Serpent Mound. I'd love to go one day, God willing, overseas and report from the Vatican. Okay, maybe take a tour and show you the inside and show you all the paganism that is going on. So as this plan unfolds, and I truly feel like God has put this dream on my heart, I'm not saying it's going to happen today or tomorrow, but I'm asking for your prayer that I would obey God's leading, that I would recognize his timing, and I'm asking for your support in that as well. So if God leads you to support this channel, I would really appreciate that. But that is my dream, okay, is to be a voice and a watchman on the wall in these last days. So I'm asking for that. God bless you. Thank you for subscribing. The more you hit the like button on these videos, it helps the algorithms, okay, on YouTube to help channels like this that are trying to alert people to the truth of these end days. It helps to bump the channel up. So, I'm asking that if you hit the like button, it helps the views, it helps the algorithms. So even if you can't donate to the channel financially or support, you just hitting the like button, okay, or sharing these videos and helping these messages to get out to people is helping as well. And praying for me as well that the Lord would show me, okay, what step to take next. And following his leading. His first step this past 4 years has been YouTube. Now I feel like he's not telling me to stop YouTube, but to branch out and even add more to that. So I'm looking into conferences, I'm looking into speaking engagements, I'm looking into collaborations. And if you feel led to support me in this, if you feel led to partner with me in this, let me know. Okay, that's nothing that you should feel forced to do. It's something that you should feel led of God to do. Okay, but more updates coming soon. There's something constantly coming up with Pope Francis and the ecumenical movement. So I will continue to update you on that. More on the 501c3 churches, the UFO alien phenomena, and the disclosure that's taking place. Again, I'm trying to get interviews lined up coming soon, so there's a lot to look forward to. So thank you for subscribing, thank you for your support, and thank you for your prayers. And I'll put a link down in the description section for you so you can look up what this non-messianic rabbi, okay, is actually noticing about Pope Francis. So God is indeed opening the eyes of people that don't even acknowledge Christ as their Savior and seeing the evil of the papal system. Okay? I mean, the fact that you've got a non-messianic rabbi coming out and stating, look at this man. Just listen to what he's saying and what he's promoting. One world religious system, one world government. And of course, this is what Daniel prophesied in the scriptures. It's what Revelation was prophesied. The fourth and final kingdom on the earth before the return of Christ was the Roman system. And this is fulfilled in our lifetime. Now, I'm not putting dates and times on the return of Christ, okay? What I'm saying, anyone does that to you and puts dates and times, they're a false prophet. We can know the season, and we can look for the signs the Lord told us to look for. But we are to always be watching and noticing the signs of the times. But I believe we are in that season of the Lord's return. I'm not putting dates and times on anything. But I do believe that we are close and that we could be possibly that generation to see that happen. God bless you. Tune in for more soon. I've got a lot of things planned for this channel. If you are a patron, and I thank you for being a patron, if you are, there are some personal token/thank you gifts coming your way. So please keep an eye on your mailbox for that. And thank you so much for your prayers and for your encouragement and for your testimonies, even in my P.O. box, because I do get them. And if you give me permission, I will share them on this channel and give you the credit for it. I also want to thank Lana Volkansek because she has been putting out very interesting things on her blog, on her WordPress blog about the New Age. As a matter of fact, Sister Lana Volkansek was taken out of the occult and the pagan system, okay? And she has a lot on her WordPress blog. So I'm going to try and put a link down to Lana's blog for you so you can take a look at her testimony of how God drew her out of the pagan system. She has a lot to offer, and so I want to thank Lana for doing that. So God bless you all. Thank you for tuning in, and more to come soon, Lord willing.